Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Here Be Dragons, a game about where dragons are, were, is, and...
Were dragons?
Yeah, we're always dragons. We don't
Yeah.
change.
We're not were dragons.
But where dragon... Okay. Hold on.
We're more
Fair.
like how dragons.
Actually, fair. Hold on. I'm going to do this in the way that the kids like to do it now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Here Be Dragons, a game about where dragons are, is, am, were, and will be. Because I said where. So you know you're not where dragons, you are, like, where dragons. That's the rules. Is the kids, they learned it from Family Guy, and now they
I feel like you should just say, where be dragons, here be dragons. And it would be much clearer.
You mean bear dragons?
That's
Like bear rabbit
I very
and bear wolf?
I very specifically don't, but that is what the joke has all been about. My name is Philip, and I'm the Dragon Master, although I'm a master of no dragons, apparently. And yes, by no dragons, to head Pierce and Andrew off of the pass, I do mean the Japanese form of theater no. I do mean that kind of dragons. Joining me are those dragons. Roar hello, dragons.
Hello.
High energy. All right. Let's see if dice make this more fun. It is now a sweltering 78 degrees in California as the high here in Los Angeles. My family in Texas are a little bit higher than that right now. There's a heat dome.
Serves them right.
That is wild.
What is a heat dome?
Oh, a heat dome is where it's pretty much what it sounds like. There's a massive dome of heat, and it extends from like
It's just like localized on. Okay.
Well, no, but the heat dome, I believe, covers from like New Mexico to Louisiana, Mexico to like Oklahoma, and the temperatures in there are wildly high. So
It's just really strange being in California and being cool.
It's gonna be that's one of the benefits of like climate change in our coming apocalypse. So we're gonna get to invent all kinds of new fun terms for all of these new events that start happening.
And it's an anime.
I'm very excited for the typhoon prism that'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Open your dice, Philip. I'm done. I'm done.
No, that's fun. We got a hurricane, then a bonus hurricane. Then it's 13. Gosh, I wish I'd opened this on Friday, because that's the 13th.
Do you want to just open 14 and then save 13 for Friday?
Nah, because there's too many games between now and then. So we'll open it now. Aw, it's a polar bear D10. I think I had a polar bear, it's a polar bear percentile die. So these polar bear die are kind of funny, because the polar bear's like upside down.
Very cute.
Yeah. Let's see what I roll. Double zeros, first off.
Oh boy.
So that's either
perfect or terrible.
It's a 6. So depending on the system, that's a great roll or not so great.
It's at least extreme.
I need some dice.
Possibly vital.
But yeah, speaking of which, we're in the dragon game. So this is the one where you guys roll all your d8s. I also will ask ye dragons here to go ahead and roll your 4d8 to see what everyone's luck is for the day. Because this is the game where luck changes. They roll a 4d8 based on how many matches they get. That's how many. That's kind of what they get to add to their base luck in a fun way. Any matches, Pierce?
One match.
You
so
have
I go
4
up to
d8.
5. Oh no, I have 4.
You always
I
start
roll
at
4.
3.
Thank you.
And then
I just
based
have
on
4
how many
here
matches
from last
you get,
time.
you go up from 4. Yeah. I've chosen this because it means you will typically have 4d8, which will give you. Are you guys hearing this insane refrigerator of mine?
No.
Okay. I everyone out there on Twitch, I have a new refrigerator. It is broken. It is going to be replaced. Hopefully, it will not continue being as loud as it is. On Zoom, they will not hear it, but you guys might hear it because it's.
Hang on. Let me see if I can hear it on Twitch. Yeah.
I think at present you probably cannot hear it. It was just making some like.
I don't really hear anything.
You're fine. I do also play music. That probably covers it up. Vanda, do you have any matches yourself?
Yes, I have a pair.
Then you also have 4. And how'd you do today, Elon, on your luck?
I finally got my first luck match.
Then everyone has
Hey.
4 luck, 4d8.
Cool, we're gonna need it.
Sure will.
Maybe it's not my fridge. Maybe there's a squirrel in my kitchen.
Oh, that would be
Maybe a
exciting.
squirrel inside
That's
the
much better.
fridge.
I don't care for it. So now that we've rolled up our luck, had a few laughs here, and chatted about dice, let's talk a little about what's going on in this game. Our dragons, still trapped in the form of bipeds, here in the domain of dread, called Hytelket, have made it through 3 tombs, gathering great materials. They have an amulet of the plains, they have a sword of the gales, and now they have some other stuff too, but I'm saying the highlight ones. They have an amulet of the plains, a sword of the gales, and a ring of Wenha, which grants them 1 wish. The wish cannot be used to get them out of this domain of dread. They know
Forgot
that
about
because
that amulet.
You forgot about the amulet?
Oh man,
Yeah.
jeez, yeah,
Real convenient anywhere but here.
yeah.
Because these domains of dread prevent one from departing. They kind of keep you stuck in a place like this. Not even a wish magic can bring it out. But Lord Buku has attuned to said ring, and he has learned from the goddess Wenha herself, do not try to waste your wish on getting out. That is a magic that I cannot do to get you out of a dreadland in the shadow world. So there you go. But our
Most kind.
dragons, being clever and cunning, were thinking of ways they could use their wish to their advantage, whether it was some convoluted means of... Oh, also the dragons were offered the chance to leave if they give all of this treasure away. They would walk out. This was a bad faith gesture from the dreadlord of this place, the Pharaoh, who effectively knew that they would never give up their treasure, for they are Wyrmlothian dragons, whom, according to this Wenha person, Wyrmlothian dragons are fundamentally corrupted through some wish she gave somebody else. There was some talk of you guys trying to fix that. That feels like maybe the thing for another session. The point being, our dragons were trying to think of what they could do with their wish. Whether it was to still enrich themselves, simply return themselves to their full form and fighting power so that they could take on this pharaoh and get out. But then Elon had a horrible, awful idea. I think he said this is a terrible idea, but it was like the best terrible idea he's ever had. And that idea is to cast our minds back, I think, 33 whole sessions. Because this is session 34. So I guess 34 sessions counting this one. To when a crew of invading bipeds arrived. And Elon's plan is to simply bring said bipeds here to this shadow world, using that wish. They are dragon hunters. They will be up against a dragon pharaoh and a draconic sort of empire. Clearly they'll go after it. But based on theories about these dark powers that control the mist and have them kept here, perhaps they will be seen as the new lords of this place and wind up stuck here as the dreadlords trapped, allowing the dragons to return in the brief window when the mists lighten whenever a dreadlord is destroyed. So, the dragons liked this plan. Obviously, there could be unforeseen consequences, but this is a great way of potentially, having your biped and eating it too. But thinking about these dark powers led Elon to have a rare, if not unprecedented, moment of self-reflection and insight, in which he realized that a voice he's kind of been hearing in his own mind, not controlling him, but simply like encouragement he's been receiving about how special and cool and perfect he is, might very well be these own Dark Lords. And the sting of this blow was genuinely lessened in Elon by the fact that it means they thought he was special. He really did seem to, when he had to admit this to Shudder Lord Buku, the fact that it was like, you're a good candidate, Elon's like, okay, so they saw something in me. Never mind, I can live with this. The point is, Elon, knowing this, knowing that these strange things that have suggested he kill his friends and doesn't need any of them, and at rare moments seem to even be hinting that maybe he didn't need his sister either, he has subsequently kind of seen through this, and at that point,
I mean, it could be external, but also true, is what I'm saying. I mean, it could be both things at once.
You are special, but now you know that someone was had hacked your diaries, basically.
Yeah.
So, it was bots. The point is, Elon is free of this, but then everyone heard sort of a strange kind of shift in the winds. The mist seemed to roil, and a sensation that our dragons were no longer sort of interest to these dark powers in a certain way, which means that perhaps a degree of protection that had been granted, or at least a degree of disinterest that had been put upon them against the many dangers of this dreadful, horror-filled realm, is now lifted. Which means, as our dragons hear sort of skittering scarabs crossing the sand in the distance, they realize that the monsters that up to this point they've only encountered when seeking them out may now be coming for them like they would any other hapless inhabitant of the realm of Hydelket. So with all of that in mind, my friends, I will read tonight's invocation for chapter 34 of Here Be Dragons. On a hot summer night, would you offer your throat to the wolf with the red roses? XigXag. These scarabs, you have heard them, you smelled them, pointed them out. All of you now have a sense that there are sort of some little hordes of beetles just kind of very frighteningly moving across the sands. You are still basically, you guys were sort of having a lie-in, as the British would say, at your previous campsite, where you sort of bivouacked for the night after you made it a decent way away from the Great Pyramid of Eternal Divergent. But now there are sort of some scarabs who are moving across the desert in a direction that is perhaps not explicitly heading to you, but is certainly in your area. You know, you may encounter some of these things. Some kind of it seems like they are small but many.
Okay.
Well, maybe this is time to do our wish and
Well, I just want to
put our plan in motion.
a couple things maybe to consider before that. First of all, I just want to say, Elon, I'm incredibly impressed and proud of you for not only coming up with this plan, but recognizing things within yourself. You know, we have to just accept things about ourselves before we can improve them.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. It's not really applicable because, improvement isn't really something that needs to happen here, but
Yeah, you can't
thank you
improve
for
perfection.
Yeah. But, thinking about myself is definitely something I think I'm going to have to do a lot more of. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think introspection's an important thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm all for. I think this is a very clever plan and solves a lot of our problems, and ultimately I think brings an evil to fight an evil. So that seems like a good idea there. It seems like a win-win. The only thing I say is we don't have all our treasure here. So I don't know how immediate this wish is going to take hold and how quickly the Pharaoh is going to be dispatched, right? But a lot of our treasure is still with our Brickborn friends. We left it with them because we can't carry it all now that we're in these forms.
Well, let's get back. I mean, let's just go back to those
I'm thinking we should
Brickborn
maybe
folk right now.
Yeah.
And
That
just
will
pop
done,
this
okay.
off. And there we go.
Yeah, just so we have everything with us before we try to.
I mean, I think
Get out of
that goes.
Dodge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be crazy.
All right. So if you are going to do this, this is just a like, it's not a confirm like in a video game window. Like, are you sure? But just your plan is to make your way back to the pit of Oshtar, to that sort of settlement where those Brickborn were.
Yeah.
To recover what you left with them.
Yeah.
You are not going to go to the Pyramid of Imperial Majesty, nor to the Tomb of Infinity. You're going to be like, forget that. We're going to go there. Yep. We're going to get our stuff. We're going to wish and get ready for a break in the mist to GTFO. All right.
I think it's going to be. I think we're going to. This is. I'm feeling pretty good about this.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Especially now that Buku's like not quite as loud, which is great.
Lord Buku at this point will
shut up.
Upon hearing the plan that you've come up with, Lord Buku will take a few moments to express how his leadership has brought this together and how he will lead you all to this by first
lead us to the
delegating
Brickborn, buddy.
XigXag to lead you to the Brickborn, given her unparalleled.
Yeah.
He's going to lead XigXag to lead you.
Great.
Her unparalleled.
Great guy. Yeah. That's great.
It is at this point, however, XigXag, that your nose detects an unnerving absence. Tongart and Elon, you also sort of have a sense of like a quietness where there hadn't been one earlier. I would ask for Tongart and Elon, and XigXag, you can too. Can you all please make a look roll under your vitality column? I think you're all actually pretty. This is a.
Oh yes, I'm definitely good at that.
This is a strength for all of you.
Excuse me.
Bless you, dear.
Oh gosh. Well, all I have is a pair of trophy.
Pair of weapon. And a pair of artworks, but I'll take the pair of weapon.
Understood. Tongart?
I have two different pairs. I'm trying to decide between talisman and trinket. I guess talisman.
Okay.
Seems a little more useful than
you're
trinket.
sort of looking out, and you can see in the distance several scarabs that are just continuing on, kind of almost parallel to where you are, kind of just passing. They were over there, now they're here. They seem to be moving, but all of you can tell with your sort of second degree successes of varying different types of treasure that there are fewer scarabs than there had been. In XigXag, you now smell many scarabs. You no longer consent to that. And you're as far as what you guys are sort of hearing, you hear those ones maybe in the distance, but you think of the rather large group of scarabs that were just kind of maybe 60% of them are now unaccounted for.
I'm gonna voice the opinion that we might be in a graboid situation, and we should just kind of get the hell out of Dodge here.
Oh, they could be underground. Would I sense it if they were underground?
None of you have tremor sense
Anymore.
I'm not sure if any of you actually had you had blind sight, which is slightly different than tremor sense, which is sense is what some rock things have, where it's just like if they're touching rock, they just know everything touching the rock. But I would say that XigXag, with your rather prodigious kind of tracking and stuff, XigXag, if you wanted to like do the movie thing of like put your ear to the ground to like feel the vibrations, I would let you make a listen roll.
Listen.
And I'll even give you one additional bonus on that. So you can roll a total for that listen of 8 horde dice.
It's a great moment to have a scarab enter her head through her ear.
Wouldn't it
Please
be?
not.
It kind of would be. It was the 13th box today, so.
We are in a dreadful place.
I almost have a straight. I have a pair of trinkets.
I will say that with a pair of trinkets, you do not hear you hear just general shifting. None of it sounds particularly scarab-like, but given the fact that they seem to have disappeared, you are fairly confident that they are under the ground. They're moving much more slowly, so they haven't gotten to you yet. But you anticipate that a bunch of scarabs are about to start jumping up out of the sand and trying to eat you all, for sure.
I suggest that we start moving very, very fast.
I concur. Let's skedaddle out of here.
All right.
And be ready to make that wish just in case things get really nasty.
Mabuku's like, I'll start phrasing it, Of course.
Get your wording down, buddy.
Of course. Well, I mean, I'm always immaculate in my wording. I'm very well spoken and everything, of course. So, this is I really don't know what to have you guys roll for quickly packing up camp. Because unless your plan is to grab your valuables and run and leave tents and, canteens and stuff and you're sprinting away.
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to ask if there's
sprinting.
like a retroactive knowledge we can add to Buku, not to Buku, to Alan and Shishu here. Because I imagine they spend a lot of time like in hotels.
Is there...
If
they have a...
No,
listen, they have people pack for them. There's no way they do their own packing.
That's very fair.
Well, I mean, we don't. I don't know if that's really accurate either. I mean, we just go and stuff shows up. So
I think XigXag was packing.
All right.
Yeah.
In this,
can I argue for
just
compose create? I can compose a package.
I think that's reasonable, but I'm going to do this in a different way. We will leave this less to the skills you have now, and we will more have this be based on, you also have been talking. Perhaps XigXag was, rolling up some, tents while you were having these conversations. So I would like all three of you, I'm giving you a lot of opportunities on this. Can everybody please give me a luck roll?
all right.
I'm going to do something slightly different on this.
I'm also willing to we just need the valuable stuff. If things start getting crazy, we pull the ripcord, right? We talked.
Well, right. I mean, I'm wearing 2 of our magic items. I don't know who has the amulet. Buku's wearing one.
Buku has the amulet as well.
Yeah, XigXag's carrying the sword, so it's real easy to just kind of.
And
I've got a helm.
Right?
Although I am wearing a full suit of armor, I am not the quickest.
For you guys to run with all of your valuables, that is not difficult. The problem is the campsite itself. The problem is the hit you'll take to your well-being while trekking across the desert with no supplies.
I see.
Oh, right, because we got to go back.
Because you're traveling back to the Brickborn. What did you roll, Elon, in terms of luck?
I rolled a pair of coinage for comfort.
XigXag?
I got nothing.
Did you happen to have... Okay, Tongar, what did you roll?
Nada.
None. Okay. Elon, as luck would have it, the water is rather easy to grab. You guys could... So if you just simply want to sprint for it, you can grab the water, have your materials with you. You're not leaving any treasure behind, but you're leaving a good bit of gear and equipment and packs and things.
How far are we? How far is this? How far are we going?
XigXag has not done the count. XigXag has not figured this out yet. You have certainly traveled days between the different places, but in terms of triangulating back, XigXag hasn't even done this. At this point, it seems like you guys are simply running to run.
All right. Well, we have the water.
Okay.
Take the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, water is the most important.
All right.
I guess.
So, with you guys gathering your stuff and beginning to run, I'd like everyone to go to their physicality and make a move roll as you sort of hie away from this place. I will give you one, Tongard, I will give you one mean-spirited penalty on this because you're in the armor.
Oh, sure.
But you can always spend your considerable power thing to, cancel that out. Your move is under the orange physicality column.
So with a penalty, I would roll 1 less.
You'd roll 1 less. So for you, you'd roll 5 instead of 6.
Yeah, I'll spend 2. Why not?
Sure.
spend 2 to get that.
All right. Let me look at one thing here real quick. Perfect. Okay. What has everyone rolled? Tongard, how did you do?
Para 8s, power, strength, combat, rage.
Power, strength, combat, rage. That's one of the better things you could run at this point. Tongard is just like, just like through the, kind of kicking up sand. XigXag, how did you do?
I have a pair of talisman, magic, miracle, protection, recklessness.
And in this case, because you guys are trying to be sort of safe, recklessness is not a thing. Only one of these will really. I'm gonna sort of switch it and have a bad thing. But XigXag, with your talisman, you manage to sort of stay protective, and you also are sort of like try to keep pace with Tongard. You guys are not running absurdly fast, but you are definitely you are getting away. And given that those things are going slower under the shifting sand, you're confident that you're getting away from them. Elon, what did you roll?
Nothing.
No matches.
Nope, not even really a straight.
Oh dear.
And you're out of focus.
We're all also focused, but that's just Elon. Elon just has a different view of focus than the rest of you. So Elon, you begin running, and the others are kind of ahead of you. We'll probably say Shishu looks back and sees that you're in a bit of trouble, as does sort of Lord Buku. But Elon, you're sort of moving. Maybe you've got a little more of the water than you were ready to handle. Maybe you're sort of looking around oh wait, we're not missing any treasure, right? Or we're not missing any such as this. So as the rest of you run,
I'm
Elon,
thorough. I'm very thorough.
Exactly. Yeah. You're measure 3 times, cut 2 times, that kind of thing. So as you are making your way, you do begin to see these unpleasant little pops in the sand as
Nope.
sand dropping out. And in fact, sort of what numbers did you roll on that, out of curiosity, Elon? If you still have
I
that.
rolled 3, 4, 7, 8.
Okay, gotcha. Because you have a 4 in there, there's some degree of protection, so you're at least moving aside. So you were not sort of surprised by this, but a good number of scarabs are you're now seeing scarabs getting out of the ground, and they are sort of coming for you. If you would like
try
to
to evade them.
You want to simply dodge, evade, do that sort of thing, give me an evade roll for sure. That's great.
Okay. We don't do anything for straights, correct?
You can re-roll for free, or for 1 less.
Oh.
I forget what it is. For free? I think it's for free, right?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
Re-roll
ones
for
in the
free.
straight?
Yeah, if it's a straight, re-roll for free.
All right. Okay. Okay. A triple artwork.
With triple artwork, so that Elon is not moving as quickly as you, but once they're out of the ground, Elon is doing a pretty impressive hop up here and sort of spin around, and a couple more sort of there, and he sort of jumps to another patch of sand and takes a few steps and goes, and then they do that. But with a triple success, you manage to sort of evade them in the direction of the others. And
Yeah, I used to do biped riding when I was a teenager.
biped riding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a natural sort of balance.
That's great. So basically, as you sort of get away, Elon, you will be the one using your biped riding sort of your skills. You do sort of glance back and notice, kind of one of the tents you guys had set up, does fall into the sand, and stuff sort of swarms over it. So you're all right, well, we definitely got out of there. Packs are being eaten, some kind of non-magical, just stuff you had over there is sort of moved, non-valuables. But with your evasion, though you didn't get away as quickly, you avoided harm and managed to kind of get sort of to a perimeter. There also is a sense that there's a good number of scarabs there, but they're being distracted by other sort of things above them. So by the time you move away, the others sort of see you, and Shishu probably comes back and helps move you, so you don't actually have any scarab. There's no scarab on Elon, kind of contact.
Yeah.
No fight thing. You do manage to get away from it, so that is a good thing.
It's really creepy, the Elon. It's really he was not showing it, but he's really spooked. This is really the yucky place for him.
I mean, and it's only gonna get more. So,
Oh gosh.
as you guys carry on, XigXag, you've rushed them away from that immediate threat. The sun is getting high in the sky because, you guys awoke in the morning and chatted for 2 full sessions. So,
It was only half an hour.
yeah, I guess no, I think in game time that would be as long as these talks took. XigXag, could you give me a I guess it would be a navigate roll.
Saw it before. Where is it?
It is under your blue intellect. You'll also have an opportunity to do a
Okay.
track roll, but for now this is more just total cardinally figuring out where you're
Okay.
going.
Oh, I have a pair of gemstone. Brilliance.
Ooh, brilliance. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, harmony and obsession. You guys are
Obsession.
obsessed with your stuff. I'll say that's a positive in this case, as you're like nose for your treasures. So XigXag, you do not like it, you don't have kind of like a laser focus. It's not like a sort of like a compass just pointing perfectly, but you are confident in the general direction that you guys need to go, and you begin leading the crew in that direction. Let's have Pierce give me a luck
Right.
roll, and I will need to know all the numbers.
Okay. One, 5, 2 threes.
2 3s. Great. With 2 3s, a few hours do pass without any trouble, XigXag, if you sort of leading them in this rough direction. Tongard, I assume you'll be back to full at this point. XigXag and Elon, 4 hours of travel pass, and you guys can go to, you can recover 4 power each. Because it just, like, you get 1 back an hour, just unless you're in, like, absolute mortal, peril or danger or whatever.
Nice.
So you're kind of, you'll get some back. But at this point, XigXag, you're, nothing else has attacked you. There's been no other like weird, arrivals of things. But as you're sort of looking at this point, you are sort of thinking that maybe you're probably going to need to. You don't have all the food that you had. So that's probably going to be a problem. You have the water, which is much more important. You don't have all the food, and, like, the sun is really beating down, and it's like, like, you guys can put stuff up over your heads, but, whatever you were wearing, but you don't really have, like, shade and tents to sort of take refuge from it. Give me a track roll, XigXag.
Okay. Track. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's also under intellect, and you get to roll. So you get to roll 7 dice total and change 1 to anything of your choice after the roll, because you have 1 dragon die for track.
Okay. All right. In that case, with the change, I have 3 of tome, knowledge, secrecy, learning.
Nice.
Right.
Knowledge is great. So I will say that XigXag, as you're sort of doing this, you suspect that it is going to take you guys. Now that you're sort of getting your bearings and it's going to be a inexact idea, but you think you'll either get there tomorrow night, or maybe you would get there the subsequent morning. So it's, you have basically like 1.5 to 2 full days of travel ahead of you.
Oh.
Or maybe a little less than 2 full days of travel, but it's a ways to get there, as you go across these dangerous deserts. But with that triple, you also sort of are like, okay, well, since we don't have tents, we'll want to like find sand dunes to kind of like take our rests in, again, that are in the shadow as the sun begins to set, and sort of doing that. So you don't think you guys are going to be hungry probably today, but you're not going to be totally sunstroked, because XigXag can kind of guide you, to better just uncovered resting places here and there across the sands.
I might still have a handful, because I don't think Buku ever really took it from me, if I recall, of what's going to be some kind of unpleasant, but technically food, crab rangoons from the party.
I guess he did not take those from you. Yeah, you still have those.
So we can have a little, I don't know how much, if it'll be a tease or not, but at least some food. A morsel.
Yeah,
Are
you
there
guys can
animals
each,
in
you
the
guys can each
desert?
have it.
You know.
Guys all can all, yeah, because crab keeps so in the desert. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you guys can.
Crab and cream cheese, so helpful in the desert, my friends.
Everybody roll for stomach cramps. So as you guys carry on, we're gonna just do one more roll for the rest of today. I will ask Elon if you could give me the luck roll, and I'm gonna want to know what the numbers are in addition to any matches. So give me one more 48, and XigXag, give me one more navigate, as you sort of move them for the rest of the day. You're with your tracking, you're putting them into shadows here and there and taking good breaks, and you guys are getting enough water. You're rationing it off, but you're not.
Got a pair of 1s and an 8 and a 7.
Pair of 1s, an 8 and 7. All right. Perfect. Okay. Nothing else sort of messes with you today either. You once you got away from the scarabs, you were having a rather deserts are deserted by definition. You're moving across areas that are big open expanses, and you haven't really crossed paths with anything. You don't see anything flying overhead. You feel like you are crossing through like a rather empty area, which is good, but also gives you maybe a small kind of tickle of concern that, well, why is this an empty area? Why wouldn't you meet a traveler? Why wouldn't you find any fauna, any desert fauna, or see anything flying overhead? Why is this path that XigXag is giving us so empty? XigXag, what was your navigate this time?
I do not have anything, but I would like to use 5 to have a double at least.
Okay, and what will you make the double in?
I'm thinking tome.
Tome. Great. Tome, knowledge, secrets. It makes total sense for this. So yes, XigXag, with kind of, it's harder navigating here. You're not sure. You're hot, but XigXag is kind of like digging deep, drawing into her power. Elon and XigXag, you may also both gain an additional 5 power over the course of this journey. So XigXag, basically, you used that on sort of satisfying a thing, but you are confident, though you're not sure that you're going the perfect direction. You're definitely going the general area to where that pit of Ashtar was, and you're not leading, like you're not going wildly astray. At this time, the sun is it's been very hot. You've had to take a lot of breaks, also just like kind of into the stuff. Water is being rationed because of XigXag's very high track roll, kind of just like, which is general survival. So you're not getting as much water as you'd want, but it should last you all or most of this journey. But it is at this time that the sun is setting, the sort of blistering heat is fading, and across the other side of the sky, you're beginning to sort of see that sort of darker purple mist taking up glimpses of the odd evil-looking star here or there through the thick miasma, but for the most part, you just see those mists roiling overhead. And I'll now leave it to you guys. If you want to, you can attempt to push through the night. If you wanted to do that, if you thought it would be safer to travel at night,
cooler at
definitely
night.
cooler. You are tired, but
at least partly. Maybe take our break, and then push for like around 5 hours or a while we can.
Okay.
For a while before taking another break. We should
sense.
get like a second wind just because of it's getting cooler.
Yes, your tiredness would probably be temporarily balanced by the temperature thing, and yeah, you could easily go another, you could go through half the night or so and not be risking any kind of exhaustion or collapsing or anything, but you just sleep into the sun the next day. Tungart, you had a question.
No, it can wait. It can wait till we actually stop for a little while.
Okay. Well, I think you're gonna take an hour's rest now.
Yeah, I think I might need longer than that.
Okay.
For what I want to do.
XigXag, would you give me a luck roll?
I got nothing.
Sweet. What numbers did you roll?
1, 2, 3, 5.
Terrific.
Unlucky.
Terrific. So, you guys rest a bit. You're all like, you're tired. You're a little parched, but not sort of deeply concerned. XigXag. After about 15 or 20 minutes or so, you smell something. 2 undead, 1 biped, and 1 beast enter your ken. The biped and the beast smell a little bit familiar.
How familiar? Can I?
Make a smell roll under your vitality. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you roll 7 and change 1. I forgot XigXag gets a dragon die on smell. Never mind. You'll almost assuredly figure out who this is.
Well, maybe not. We'll see.
True.
Oh, okay. I have 6s or 8s are better here. Memory 6. Okay. Trio of trinkets.
2 of trinkets?
Yeah, memory, reminder, contentment.
3.
Or do you get to do 3? Was that a 2? Do you get to change 1 after the fact too, or that's after you changed 1?
Yeah, I rolled 2 and I changed it.
So a triple of okay. So triple trinkets. Yeah, memory is great reminder. XigXag kind of breathes in, and you did not encounter this person the most, but when someone's close enough, you don't forget a musk. The one you smell is that green-scaled dragon. That green-scaled draconic who rode a camel.
Oh, the Vanda from the
Oasis,
pyramid.
and who also spoke to Elan and Shishu in the pyramid, though the rest of you were not a party to that. You smell that individual, and the beast is a camel. You know what a camel smells like, I suppose, at this point, even from 1,000 feet away.
Well, the camels smell pretty strong, so yeah.
There's 2 undead that have entered just at the same time.
Undead, interesting. Well, are they? Do I smell that are they coming towards us? Do I think
that you don't? You know if someone enters 1,000 feet, but you don't have like especially since that scent was more like, where do I know that from? So you don't have exact placement, but you know they're in the area, and it is fairly dark.
I tell the others.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a good news or bad. We'll find out.
We usually do.
Yeah.
If you take no action, you wait another 15 minutes. You said you were going to wait about an hour before you traveled again. 15 minutes passes without anything happening, any revelations. Another 15, and at the end of the hour, you said you'd wait. XigXag, you still smell those scents faintly, but no one has approached you. Nothing is disturbed. You're at rest. At this point, the sun is fully down. The night is very dark. You do not have any. You don't have any torches or things. But
do we see the stars?
Make a luck roll.
Okay.
Sometimes luck comes up a lot. Sometimes it doesn't come up that much.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. It is a little darker. There are some stars here, but there is no moon. Sort of there's that like this kind of eerie purple kind of darkness as the mists are sort of covering most of the sky. I think all of you, especially the XigXag, having told you that, have a sense that if a dedicated like Medjay, ranger of these deserts perhaps cannot avoid XigXag's scent of their presence, but this is probably a person who can move very quietly, very silently, very, very invisibly across these sands.
Right.
If they so need to. You said you were going to carry on here. You could always change your mind and rest now. XigXag and Elon regain 1 more power each as an hour has passed. Tongard, I'm assuming I think you'd be maxed out at this point.
Very much so.
Nice.
So what are you going to do? Carry on?
I think
Carry
we
on as
should.
planned? All right.
All right.
You begin again. Tongard, it is back to you. Give me a luck roll. XigXag. It's a little harder to do at night. Would you give me a navigate? You have 1 penalty on this roll. So you will roll 1 less than you typically do for your navigate. You'll only have 4 dice instead of 5, but you can always buy some power to get rid of that if you want to sort of representing you digging deep.
Must have been 3 power to reroll.
Okay. Elon. You notice Lord Buku talking to Shishu about some date, and her body language is like kind of like uncertain because she kind of had just said that to manipulate him, but like he does look so good as a draconic. So I'm sort of just saying that less for anything actionable and more that just you're probably still in a bad mood. What did you have for your luck?
I have a pair of 2s and then a 5 and a 4.
Pair of 2s and a 5 and a 4. Grand. Lovely. XigXag, can you do your navigate roll with 1 penalty? So you only roll 4 unless you'd like to spend dice to sort of get a little back. Spend power to get more dice, I should say.
Okay.
I do love Andrew's background.
It's incredible.
Oh, nice. I have a trio of trophy.
Trio. Oh wow, wonderful. And hey, victory, accomplishment in this case. Honestly, it may be that the sun was like weighing you down because here in the night, you're like,
My brain is working better now.
It's like finally this. So, you begin leading the crew over the sands. You said you wanted to go about 5 more hours, XigXag. Is that correct?
Roughly, as long as the group can keep up.
Tell you what, this will be sort of on a Tongard. You don't even need to do it. You can just for moral support. Let's have XigXag and Elon look under your vitality. Can everybody make an endurance roll?
I'll do it just to help out, I guess.
Yeah, you're mildly good at
part of
this.
the group.
Yeah. You want to be like 4 artwork.
Wow. Okay.
Is that a good wow or a bad wow, Elon?
Triple trinket, double trophy.
Whoa, Elon, you are pushing through great. Through the night.
I have double trinket.
Understood. You guys are all kind of exactly what... Tongard, go ahead. You may brag.
It doesn't matter, so that's why I rolled triple artwork and triple coinage.
2 trophies. So basically...
Whoa.
I roll 7.
If anything, you guys are kind of like, should we like go all the way through the night and sleep in the day, maybe? But as you guys are sort of moving, through this for sort of 5 more hours, XigXag and Elon, you regain 5 power over this time.
Right.
Also, I appreciate you guys allowing me to do some real sort of old school D&D, just like
yeah, no, this is fun.
kind of like kind of like real
I
small
haven't had random
scale
encounters in a
travel,
long time.
and yet in this weird other system we're using. So XigXag, you are guiding them well. You're getting a little more comfortable that you're going in the right direction. You probably see some, like, I mean, it's hard to see land masses and things, especially at night, but you probably have a sense of like, wait, that's that like slightly larger like row of dunes over there. So we are going, you shift course maybe 5 degrees and then feel that you are heading in the right way. You also, XigXag, a couple of things about what you're smelling as you go. Every once in a while, you will lose scent of a biped, 2 undead, and a beast. But not for long.
Do I have a feeling that they're following us?
I think you probably feel that way, yes. I think you probably suspect, based on the hours and hours that they have been on the edges of your sort of senses. They'll disappear for 15 minutes, then appear again, and you're like, I think they're now over there. You kind of. You also, however, at times while you're passing, will smell the odd beast. Something kind of low scale, nothing to be worried about. You know, maybe you even can see a bat or something like flying around overhead. And you also do scent, again, at the furthest edges of your range, an undead shuffling here or there. Nothing large, nothing near, nothing sort of like, nothing extremely intense, but they're so perhaps this place is a little more alive at night than it is in the day. Nevertheless, your luck holds. As you have sort of gone this sort of like 5 hours, it's now the dead of night. You and Elon are sort of like recovered stuff. You have the choice of, are you going to push on through the night, since things went so well here in the night, or if you want to go ahead and rest now, sleep the rest of the night, sleep into the day a bit, and then proceed once the sun is up.
What do you guys think? Should we push on?
I mean, it's sort of your call. I'm happy to delegate. I'm just, as long as I like to just do some dawn stretches, so as long as I have some time to, you know, sort of maintain my hip flexibility, I'm fine with whatever.
Mustard Vanguard?
I could use a little bit of sort of time here, I think.
Okay. Sure, let's stop then. Maybe we have like a shorter rest, and then in the morning we start going before it gets too hot. Is that a possibility?
That seems wise. Yeah, sort of rest when the sun is at its highest, at its hottest. Kind of work in the dawn and dusk times.
I will say, with the endurance rolls you guys just did, you have a sense that you can. I'll allow some like split long rests here, you know, in a kind of like a thing. So if you guys are going to sleep for a while, you don't have any tents, you don't have any bedding. The sand is coarse, irritating, and it gets everywhere, but you can sleep on it.
I would like to do something that I haven't done in quite a while.
Sure.
I would like to listen to my breath and kind of see if there's any guidance that I can find in doing so.
Understood. Let's see here. You begin to breathe, focusing on your breath. You're going to do 2 things for this. I guess I should also ask, XigXag, Elon, are either of you doing anything other than sleeping?
Well, I would like to sleep with my nose open.
Okay. Well, typically one should do that, otherwise apnea. Yeah.
It's sort of like if you know, if certain smells get strong.
Understood. I get it. I will factor that into things. Elon, are you going to do anything other than rest?
Yes. No. I'm just gonna sleep.
Then,
I'd like to assume the like Qui-Gon battle
as
meditation
you guys
pose.
sort of head into a rest, as Tongart begins sort of to meditate as Buku and Shishu lay down to sleep, I assume with Elon definitely between them wherever they are, regardless of how close together they are, with Elon directly between them. Tongart. First, make a breath roll under vitality. You are not using your breath weapon, but you guys literally have a breath thing, so you should roll this.
Trinket to the second.
Second degree trinket. Trinket memory reminder, you know how to do this. You are putting your mind at ease. You are breathing on a even, scheduled kind of, nice pattern of in and out, feeling, you feel the roaring, sort of like molten magma in your lungs, kind of keeping you in a positive way. You are letting your breath be sort of furtive, as befits your order, as befits your religion. Next, I would like for you as you sort of cast your mind to just the lack of like judgmental good or evil that the flyaway does, and kind of instead just represent the nature of breathing that is in all of us. I want you to make, under your will, a detect vibe roll. Because ultimately, the furtive breath is all about the vibe check.
Am I adding my furtive breath knowledge on this? Or is this something different?
Sure.
So that adds 3 extra dice to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna with the so I rolled 2 pair.
As
Right,
often
yeah,
happens.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with artwork.
Artwork. Beauty, intention, inspiration. Just trying to sort of reach out and get the general
Mindfulness.
vibe. You it's just a general check-in. It's a check-in on you. It's your lungs, how your lungs interact with the world. I will say that a detect vibe here, especially as the first time in a Dreadland that you have done this, the air here, this is bad air. You know it is bad air. I think you knew that without testing it, but now that you have drawn air into the sanctuary of your lungs, into your sort of secret place, you've breathed it. You wish to empty your air of this bad, or you wish to empty your lungs of this bad air. But when you're within the cloud, you know that is something you cannot do. All you can do is just not let it kind of, weigh you down so bad. There is a dark energy here. There is a dread in this place. Nothing you didn't know already. But you do feel that not all is hopeless, certainly. And the past, perhaps, not even 12 hours, it's been longer than 12 hours at this point, but sort of the past several hours have indicated to you that you guys have... This is probably, I would imagine, the first plan you have that doesn't just feel reactive and we're just trapped in this thing. There seems to be, Elon getting shaking free of that. You're heading back to recover your treasure, and it's been bugging you guys that you haven't had your treasure. Now you have this wish that you can cast, and your plan is to bring those people here. Everything about this feels like there is the ship is being righted to a certain extent. A have course corrected. It is still dangerous, it's still uncertain, but there is a positive feeling. Did you have any specific questions?
Just sort of want to, I guess maybe going off of the bad that I'm feeling from this place, the bad air that I'm breathing. I am just sort of wondering if what we are indeed doing is bringing an evil to fight an evil. In terms of, like, is this the right course? Like, is this a course of action that is something that, right, that this, I don't want to say moral, but yeah, I guess I'm wondering is, like, does this feel immoral?
We are dragons.
The furtive breath.
We're just greedy.
The furtive breath does not. Morality is always a personal choice.
I guess in that sense,
it is
I don't
always
know that
a
I got a
feeling
good
of you don't become as obsessed with right and wrong as maybe the flyway does, because you're just accepting the idea that we're just breathing in and breathing out, and you have to, like, as long as you're honestly breathing in and breathing out, you're being what a dragon should be.
Let me ask this in a clearer way, I think, for this. Do I get the sense that bringing those dragon hunters here might cleanse this air?
Might cleanse this air?
Yeah, because we're talking about, like, this is bad air.
Yes.
Right.
Nothing cleanses this air.
You do not. No. It is more that this bad air is here, and you want to breathe them in and yourselves out of it. Something you're trying to find an opportunity. You're trying to breathe in. You are trapped in the lungs of this horrible, non-draconic place. And the only way to get the only way to escape this air is to make the place cough. And so you're trying to bring in something else that will make it cough, so that you can be exhaled. They will be inhaled, and you can be freed from these lungs.
Yeah.
But if it is moral, that is entirely... That is not a thing that in this place. You also feel that question is both one that, like, the furtive breath doesn't help you answer. That's kind of, it's like a personal, Tongard's moral code is his own moral code. But this place is not about morality either, or only in the context that it's about depravity.
All right. I'm just sort of trying to make peace with our decision here and just hope that two wrongs, in fact, make a right. But I'm not dissuading off of our course action, but... Alright. I'll just sort of spend the rest of the time just sort of...
Well, hold on.
Breathing to center... Oh.
I mean...
That's the end of my questions.
Yes, that's the end of your questions. So, as for the rest of your time... sort of breathe in, breathe out. You're going to sort of... You feel you've gotten whatever answer you will get from this kind of light communion. But as you sort of shift slightly, open your eyes, you see that crouching about 3 feet away from you is a black-robed dragon with green skin, although it's hard to tell in this light.
Dragonkin or dragon?
Draconic, yes. A dragonkin, dragon. It is the one you saw at the... I don't think you ever saw him again, but he was at that oasis. He's just crouching, sort of staring at you. You slept through it, XigXag. He's very good. I rolled for him, actually, XigXag.
Oh.
Well, what can I do for you, friend?
meditating?
I was concentrating on my breath, yeah.
I don't see many people do that.
Something sometimes helps me find some guidance or center myself.
Where are you all going?
Just somewhere we can find some shelter.
I could lead you to shelter if you wanted.
Well, I don't know that we're you're a servant of the Pharaoh, right? Like a direct servant. I know that like everyone here is.
All served by the grace of the Pharaoh, yes.
Right. But you're a little more direct, right? Like you're you're not just building stuff for him. He's directly ordering you to do stuff. You directly come to him, right?
No, not correct. I am a ranger, Medjay. I ride the desert. I seek anomalies. Such as you and your friends. He sort of gestures behind you. You turn back.
Yeah.
If you look back, you see XigXag, kind of curled up, nose very open. Kind of, maybe even like, you see,
Twitching.
kind of, as if like, yeah, like a little twitch of like, this dream of something's not right. You see Elon sleeping with like arms like pushing out with like, you know, Lord Buku like trying to roll up against him, and Shishu just kind of lying there. Standing sort of over them are two other figures in black robes. I'll let you make a look roll to on guard, but you will have one penalty, get in the darkness.
For sure.
But your eyes are sharp.
Triple talisman.
Triple talisman. The robe, the feet of these beings are wrapped in white bandages.
Sure.
They're sort of like, I don't do draconics have 4 or 5 fingers, do we think?
I think 4.
4. That kind of situation?
Yeah, I think we're like Yoda.
Yeah. Well that would be 3.
Oh, that's, yeah, sorry. I think we're
It's like
I think
that
we're like
or
that.
that. Probably 4. We'll take you down to Simpsons. That's fine. Their 4-fingered hands kind of are pointed like the claws of a draconic, but also wrapped in this. Their faces are kind of covered by darkness, but you suspect they are bandaged head to toe.
Sure.
As he's just kind of you sort of glance back, and they're just standing like perfectly over your people. Elon, Shishu, Lord Buku sleeping. Not any sense of anything. XigXag seems to be sleeping in a miss kind of way, as if noting something is off, but has not awoken to it yet. And you know what, since you had a 3rd degree, in the far distance there's like a camel, but that's not really the point. Wouldn't it be cool if this is the camel that the girl whose arms are the desert pulled out and gave? Never mind. The point is, we're top line. Yeah,
We need to make that camel important,
it's camel was.
obviously.
So.
Well, let me ask you something. So you roam the desert here. How long you been doing that? You've been always under this pharaoh, or did you serve the one before as well?
Make a, you know what? Give me a charm.
Okay.
See if he likes what you're putting out there.
Triple weapon.
Kind of like game respects game. You're being very direct with this.
I have a double tome as well, if that's. But I think a 3rd degree success is probably better.
In this case, tome is actually, I think you even have a sense of like, I'll back up. Like perhaps you start speaking a truth like that, but like it almost seems a little too prideful. So you're kind of like, you back off, and you sort of let your charm. And he sort of just appreciates your sort of directness, your total lack of fear. Your sort of strength, you seem not worried about his presence or the presence of his 2 mummies, and he's like, all right, cool. So in reply, he will say, "Yes, I have served other dreadlords."
And
Or I have existed under other dreadlords.
I see. And like, this is not a judgment question, but like, everyone lacks their bosses more or less, you know, like not everyone's the same. How do you lack this pharaoh that you have now?
Oshtar, who ruled before. I think Oshtar ruled before. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure. If not Oshtar ruled before, who I think Oshtar was the immediate predecessor. Oshtar was more chaotic. This pharaoh has a grander design for his cruelty as it pleases him by his grace. He kind of looks at his scaly hand. So that we might all fit into his plan.
Does he have 3 fingers? Is he Yoda on that hand?
He is not Yoda on that hand. No, he has 4 fingers.
Okay.
But Tongart, this is a real. You'll have to roll really high on this. I don't even think this. You know what? Damn it, you're good at it. It's fine. This is read person. You're not reading his vibe. You're reading something very specific. Give me a read person. You have to roll. You'll have to get like some serious success to get this.
That's fine. I'm gonna spend 6 to go up to 10 dice on it.
Sounds good. You get to change one for free.
Yeah.
Must be nice to regain that power that fast, huh, guys? Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. All right, let's roll the whole dice. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and go. I mean, that's not. We'll go with 4 talisman.
4 talisman magic. I'm gonna say with 4, I'll let you have the sense of this. This is a very weird thing you're trying to determine. He doesn't have 3 fingers, but he's moving his 4 fingers like someone who should have 5.
Gotcha.
Like someone who, natural state. He's very accustomed to having 4 by now, but would probably have more.
Asti, and are you someone who respects order or chaos?
I respect the sand.
So a bit of both, then.
Precisely.
Interesting.
The sand is unpredictable, but it wins in the end.
Well, let me ask you a little something about your boss here. He offered us, I'm sure you gathered we're not from.
I've spoken to a few of your others before, yes.
Yeah.
You came through the mist.
One thing we don't really do very well is blend.
You're doing a good job so far, or were you always draconics?
Yeah, we've always had scales.
That was not
He made us an offer.
an offer.
Yeah, he told us if we give him all of our treasure, that he'll let us leave. And I'm just sort of curious about 2 parts of that. Is that something that's true that we should believe an offer like that? And is it even something he can do? Because so far we've discovered that not even like the highest levels of magic can get us out of here.
He can certainly part the mists for any he chooses. He has sent agents out.
See, he sent agents out.
Oh, yes.
To what end?
To whatever end he chooses, by the grace of
Have
the
you?
Pharaoh.
Have you gone out?
No.
Interesting.
So he could free you. I'm gonna roll something for this guy.
Sure.
Okay. If you had something he wanted, he would just take it. No. He wants your obedience, your humiliation. You were dragons. You were dragons there. He wants your horde. He wants you to debase yourself. Give him all you possess, and then he'll let you crawl out. He is, as I said, orderly in his depravity.
Yeah, it's sort of. That sort of adds up to what I was sort of thinking.
So you will not take him up on that offer. Yeah, it's probably the only reason why he made it.
Yeah, I guess. Strikes me as someone that doesn't bet anything he's afraid he'll lose.
I'm surprised. Dragons are often quite powerful for you to be brought here and changed. Well, perhaps the Pharaoh's powers are absolute in this place after all.
Possible.
Where are you going? What
Well, we
shelter
were
do you
going.
seek?
Well, we arrived with a bit of treasure from our journeys, and we're going to collect it as part of this bargain.
You're taking him up on it.
Well, we were discussing it, but we were sort of spread out across the desert. We figured we should at least have all of our resources. But given some of the information you've given me, I'm not so sure. I'll have to sort of discuss it. Let me ask you another question. You've been here a long time. You know the sands. You respect the lands here. Right? You're clearly cunning. You know your way around. You know the people here. You ever want to be in charge of it all? You ever want to be the boss?
No. Nor would I be. I will never be the dreadlord of this place.
Is that because you don't want to be, or because you can't be?
He sort of leans forward and you see this like he's very intimidating looking. He's like, this is like a like even as a dragon, if this guy showed up, you'd be like, okay, this biped's this is like somebody put a leash on this thing. But he sort of leans forward and kind of gazes at you. His eyes almost seem like yellow in the night. And he says, I'll never be dreadlord. I'm too nice a guy.
Yeah,
Find out if he wants to leave.
I can definitely see that now. So are you and your friends going to keep following us through the desert?
Perhaps not based on where you're going. But, as I said, I'm a ranger. I seek knowledge of what passes through the mist, what is different in the desert. Right now, that is you. He kind of gestures to the sort of to the mummies, and you hear this like fluttering kind of stuff, and they seem to be moving back. XigXag, I think at this point you probably do begin to stir, smelling a whiff of rot.
Before I don't mean to make an impertinent request. You wouldn't happen to have extra rations of some kind or something like that you could spare? We'll sort of run out of it.
provides. If you're willing to wait for it. He just sort of stands and starts walking away.
Well, that's the kind of folksy wisdom that can save you or damn you, I think. So that's what that feels like. All right.
So XigXag, you can sort of wake up. You see that Tongart is sitting up. You see 3 black-robed figures are sort of walking away from all of you.
You know, earlier I was thinking if I could do anything comparable to an intuition roll to try to figure out if this guy is friend or foe.
As you see him walking away, no roll is required. He is probably neither. You don't think he's a friend, but he's not. And now you see that it seems like he was just chatting with Tongart, but they're walking away. You maybe have like a moment where you're like, uh-oh, and you look and Elon. I'll say that probably like Buku, Elon, and Shishu are doing some kind of like Three Stooges, like cross dragon, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, all sleeping, and the feather goes from one and then drifts to the other and goes back, et cetera, et cetera. Snoring gags, but Tongart is sort of sitting up, so you can certainly check with him. Elon, you're dreaming of, I don't know. You're dreaming of people envying you, probably. That's what it's about.
If you just dreaming about if you had a platform.
Oh, yeah. You need that's the thing.
Of hundreds of millions of people that you could control and just say whatever you wanted on it. No one could do or say anything about it. And if anyone challenged you, you just ban them.
Yeah, oh God, it wouldn't be so cool to ban. You could perma-ban. Could just like if they had if they were like telling a story, if they were like giving their story and you didn't like it, you could delete their account.
Yeah.
Whatever account they gave, you could delete it. So XigXag, Tongart, do you wake the others to let them know, or are you gonna let everyone sleep a little more?
XigXag, I don't think they're any danger. He just sort of wanted to ask questions about. He seems just curious about us, not really a threat. But if you want to wake everyone up and keep moving,
I wonder if we would have wanted to come out of here, live here with us, and would he have been useful?
I mean, useful, probably. I get the sense that he likes it here a lot. I don't know that he would want to leave. He seems to endure a lot to do what he does. And he's done it for a lot of people, so. But if he probably could, I'm sure he would have been useful, but I also don't think he's interested in being a guide. But I don't think they're going to be following us anymore. I can take him at his word, which I think I can. He doesn't seem like a deceptive individual. He seems pretty forthright with what he thinks, if a little.
He is an odd one, for sure. You think we should wake up the others? Or let them sleep?
I mean, they look like they're having a good time right now. We can probably give him a couple more hours to
for food.
Smell
something
for food.
Edible. Smell for animal or anything that can be.
If you'd like to do that now, or you want to do it once you guys are back on the move.
Well, both.
Make a smell roll now.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I would say 3 of trophy.
3 of trophy, nice. It's quite an accomplishment. XigXag, you're not really smelling many like beasts right now, and kind of like what's on the wind does have that sort of undead rot, and perhaps you almost like, you know,
Any skittering little tiny lizard things?
not within 1,000 feet, nothing sort of so substantial. Like if you make an effort to like hunt for such things, you could definitely do that as part of your sort of waking, you know, kind of like on the move. You guys are sort of quasi resting still right now, so you're not waking everyone up, but you can certainly try to, like, you know, find any little lizard or even scorpions to eat. But mostly the creatures you think are out on the desert right now are things that had died, but maybe have life in the night, shuffling about across the sands.
I wonder what a zombie would taste like.
Kind of like jerky, I imagine.
Very old jerky.
Like smoky, salty,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else. Like,
What would happen if I ate a zombie?
I don't think you'd handle it well, but we could always try it.
imagine if you just got the hickory and the smoke and nothing else.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's what I think. But I'm in it. We could find out.
Maybe not.
A couple more hours pass. XigXag and Elon, you may give yourselves, I guess, if you still even need it, you guys may be getting close to full at this point.
Yep.
Give yourselves another like 5. Slept for about 5
Oh,
hours.
that was cool.
Plan on taking kind of an extended nap.
Getting
later.
close.
Tongart, anything you did, you imagine that like 2 hours passes after that, so however much more.
That's
you
fine.
do.
That puts me back up to full. So.
You know, but it's like the sort of, you can tell it's like pre-dawn, the sun is about to come up, but it's still kind of the time you were thinking of having them, you know, do one more shift and then try to sleep in the heat of the sun.
Part of me wants to just dig to see if we can find these like black watermelons from Book of Boba Fett, but there's no reason Tongart would do that.
Yeah, and it's not Tatooine you're on. XigXag.
You don't know that.
If you are,
Mhm.
that is true. You are. Yeah, spoiler alert. You're on Tatooine. It's the Kenobi place. XigXag. If you are going to hunt, I will let you do a track roll that is specifically about hunting the next morning.
Yeah.
Elon, you've awoken. They probably fill you in about a visitation last night. Is there anything you'd like to do before getting on the road? Aspersions you'd like to cast? Insights you'd like to share?
Trio of trinkets.
Very good.
Yeah, I'd like to I'll go ahead and do some illusory distortions today, just sort of like to help us try to remain a little bit under the radar, given I've talked to this green guy before. I don't know if I really trust him. I think he's an independent agent, which I respect, but I feel like I don't know where his bread is buttered, you know?
I think that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I think that's great.
I like that phraseology. I understand that very well, huh?
Give me a spell
Between
casting
bread
roll.
and butter.
All right.
And you can spend 5 power to, you know, do this, or do you more want to do this with simple spells? Are you sort of trying to do something that's going to be like?
No, I'll do it with simple spells.
I think, yeah,
It's fine.
perfect. Yeah, go ahead and just do a spell casting then. It's under
that's
your will.
under it. Will.
It's like under will, but in the darker boxes.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Okay. Wait.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're pretty damn good at that, I think. And while he's making
Yeah,
that
I
roll,
am. I mean, it's one of the many things.
it's not my
Yeah.
main skill. It's one of my It's one of my strengths, many strengths. XigXag in the interim, you do sort of come back with a handful
What?
of
Scribble
scorpions.
trophy.
What?
Scorpions.
Those scorpions?
Elon with a triple trophy. You know, always about victory and accomplishment and such for you. You're competing with yourself, always trying to top yourself. You actually do sort of think that there are some kind of like, you know, between Shishu's natural, you know, you don't have to do as much on her because she can kind of change her sort of scale slightly, but you can kind of just like put a general like like sepia filter over everyone to just kind of have you guys blend in a little more. You can kind of extend it back behind your tracks, you know. You can probably also use some simple spells, not even in terms of like, you know, illusions. You could almost some kind of like mage hand equivalent, just like dusting away footprints, you know. So it's you know, kind of just absolutely that'll be a you know, whether or not you think that will prevent that green guy from following you, you're not sure. He seems pretty cagey, but you know, that might throw off any other predators or things. XigXag has some scorpions if you guys want to eat those for breakfast.
Nice crunchy scorpions. Watch out for the stinger.
Oh, well, that's very helpful. Thank you, XigXag.
I'm eating my scorpion.
I'm gonna spit a little on it to like roast it up a bit, and then take a bite. Oh, it's
That's a good eating.
it's like a. You ever had like a deep fried Twinkie, Alon? It's kind of like that texture where it's like surprisingly crunchy on the outside and like almost too gooey on the inside.
No, I don't really. Our chef never really made anything like that for us. So.
Oh, you're missing out. When we get back to Wyrmloth, I'll have to introduce you to that.
Yeah. All right. Sure.
I had deep fried dune crawlers back in the.
I imagine something similar to that.
Yeah.
It's just something with a gooey center, you know? It's gonna.
Yeah. I do like the school center. It's an acquired taste.
That's
you know, it's like the bipeds. They have a gooey center too. But you're not supposed to deep fry them. Yeah.
No, I try not to eat them either.
Well,
but
they are acquired taste too.
Well.
Anyway, maybe we should get moving.
Yes, let's go.
All right. XigXag, give me another navigate. Elon, you're
ready.
Guiding them with this pretty well, kind of in terms of these, or hiding them rather. Tongart, you have many things to sort of think about from the previous night. I'll also say that at present you do not smell.
Triple tome.
Triple tome. Oh yeah. You know what? It's probably
also.
Oh no,
like... it's a quadruple tone. I'm sorry.
Oh, you get to because you. Oh wow. Okay.
No. Wait, sorry. Those I wasn't using only triple. I'm lying to you.
You could spend some power to make it a quadruple if you just want to like drive this one home, but yeah.
No, I think
leave it that. Triple's pretty good for your sort of navigations. I will say that, yeah, as time's going on, you're having a clearer and clearer sense of like kind of like where you are. You're like, oh yeah, over there. You can almost see the tip of that, you know, of one of those pyramids in the distance. So yeah, you're of the gentle breeze over there. So yeah, you're pretty sure you are heading toward where the pit of Oshtar is, and that little sort of settlement of the Brickborn, where your stuff is being held with Eldo and the others who survived. Chura didn't, of course, because, you know, she went in with you, and Todgart, you have her, you know, mask and stuff. But you guys carry on across the desert. Let's have this one be, I think, Elon, would you give me a luck roll?
Sure.
A little bit of desert exploring. The water is running lowish, but you can make it, you know, you can ration it out. You can all have a couple more mouthfuls today. And
pair of artwork.
Wonderful.
3 and 5.
And then pair of artwork 3 and 5. Wonderful. Interesting. So you guys move across the desert. A few more hours passes. You're feeling like, you know, kind of like the sun is rising. You're like, all right, yeah, it would be great to stop when the sun is too high, although it's also desert, so it's kind of, you know, hard to, like, when the sun's directly overhead, it's like, unless you have a tent, you kind of can't be out of the sun. But you're sort of trudging through the sand, thinking that you sort of know up ahead, you see the mist in the far distance, kind of shimmering oddly. And you feel like a breeze roiling past you, kind of hot desert air. The sand on the ground is being twirled up in little whirlwinds and things like this. Suddenly there's this more pronounced swirling of air. Maybe 30, 40 feet ahead of where you're moving across the dunes. And a shape begins to take form in the sand that's being drawn up. The shape is bipedal, about 20 feet tall, giant-like.
Oh.
Wait, does it look like it's being made? Like it's like, sorry, just for clarification, does this look like a being that is walking in like sand is formed, or does it look like it's being formed out of the sand?
It looks like gusts of air are drawing up sand.
Ah.
And a giant is being made of sand, sort of standing in the desert. XigXag, your nose is beginning to sense some elemental force coming at you from much closer than 1,000 feet away. Also, XigXag, there might have been the odd little creature here or there that you'd scented that seems to be moving away. This thing seems to be in your path, but not like directly across your path.
Is it threatening?
At this point, it seems to be like unformed, just kind of sand swirling, dust, cloud-like as it's moving.
Well, I think we should try to move past it, but be ready for attack, for combat.
Yeah, I think if we can, we should try to give it a berth. But yeah, I think let's try and move past it.
All right.
Go around it.
As you guys begin sort of like moving aside from it, you know what, Elon, because of your illusions, I'm actually going to give it a penalty on its roll. You guys are sort of like moving like low across the sand. You're trying to make yourself sort of seem like the sand. It does seem to be like seeking something, kind of like a strange step. You guys are moving kind of away from it. It is looking around now. An almost a face is beginning to form in it, although it is still mainly sort of swirling and dust-like. I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys... It has not immediately noticed you. Is sneak something you're all terrible at? It's under coordination.
I think everyone but XigXag.
I'm
and Alon, actually, I'm the only terrible one.
No, I
in
am
this group.
bad at it
XigXag's
too.
not great
I'm-
either. I'll tell you
I'm
what,
really
Elon,
great at it.
Elon, if you would
Yeah.
like to, I'll let this be an Elon roll to try to sneak like the rest of you, Elon, like kind of like dragging you guys kind of in this thing. Elon, if you would give me a sneak roll, as you
I'm
try to-
dragging them.
you drag on them, and you're kind of you're sort of you're directing them at sneaking. You're gonna try to like you're trying to disrupt their usual presence into a much more sort of like Stealth X. That's like a company you could make.
Pair of sevens.
Pair of sevens. Okay. 7 is again, at competition. You're trying to show up, because Lord Buko is saying, well, I could also, and you're like, no, just everyone kind of do this. You are helping everyone sort of stay kind of, you're suggesting you guys go low, kind of like try to get like behind another dude. And as you sort of go, you begin to hear, oh, Elon, you have your helm on, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of the rest of you speak like elemental languages?
Sylvan? That's the closest I come.
So.
Yeah. I would say that none of you understand this, but Elon, you do, thanks to your headband. This creature is sort of kind of making a claim of like I still rule this desert. Who dare pass? Ranger, how dare you enter without my leave? The Medjay believe they can do as they will. I still rule. I am older. I am the desert. It's, kind of like some stuff, and you kind of hear that green scourge. You kind of like hear like a curse of just that's loud enough that he knows he's been sort of seen, and you guys kind of just with your sharp ears, you kind of hear that green scourge who you spoke with last night, Tongard, just going fuck, and
He's still following us.
There does appear to be a battle that is transpiring now behind you as Elon stealthily leads you across the sands, as the ranger is facing some kind of elemental sand monster. And as you sort of race away from that danger, pretty good track record so far of staying out of trouble. I think we're going to end our session there.
Wow.
Because you guys don't want to do any fights. I get it. It's fine. With your sort of like with your water really dwindling, your belly's your digestion probably rough given you've just eaten a couple scorpions, with weighted down with this stuff and knowing
Surprisingly, the scorpions were easier to digest than the crab rangoons.
that for you guys that genuinely may be the case. Yeah, that's where we'll end it for tonight. Awesome.
All right.
Amazing.
Great, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for watching. This was super fun.
Shout
Shout out to Vanda for 18 months of subscription. Very cool.
It keeps popping up, reminding me.
There you go. I'll do a couple of kind of go through our our stuff here. So tomorrow night, join us here at 7:30 for for Third Time's the Charm, which is our insane sitcom game. And tomorrow night, I've already written the ads for today, and all I'll say is I am a weird guy. I've written the ads for tomorrow night, so they'll be real dumb. I try to have a policy if I have you guys do cold readings. I really try not to. I try to write those each, like I might split them up, but I try to write an ad in a burst without edits.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I try to have those be as like stream of consciousness nonsense from me as I then make you read them aloud cold. So we'll see if I'll tell you, we might check back in with the odd thing here or there. In addition, we have on Tuesday our Gray in the Dark, or should I say full color spectrum in the dark. Sort of our final sort of final, I didn't say final, but kind of our closing session, but we'll potentially we were talking about how like doing some follow up like 50s 60s color like spy thing in the new world that they've created, kind of a kind of mid-century thing could be sort of fun. But that'll be our sort of kind of close out with these kind of characters of the story, and kind of in typical noir fashion, you won't get half the answers or resolution you hope for, but that'll feel right. So that'll be on Tuesday at 7:30, and then this coming Friday we have a Blood from a Stone. It's going to be a lot of fun. Join us for that 7:30. I did something pretty crazy to them last Friday, so we may see some of that, but we might also see what happened to old Everett in the maelstrom of craziness of that. So yeah, join us for that on Friday, Blood from a Stone, 7:30. And then 1 week from tonight, we do not have the dragons. Instead, we will have our Mystic Starport game, where nothing of note is going on. Business as usual. Psych. They have no color because Gray in the Dark stole it from them. And on, but then 2 weeks from tonight, rejoin us for this fun Here Be Dragons game. Andrew, would you like to talk about anything that you do?
Sure. Yeah, I am continuing our run here of lunch break streaming here on Twitch every weekday. This week we won't be doing Thursday or Friday, it looks like, but we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, streaming Diablo with my friend Ben, and there's a new puzzle game I'll probably be doing. So yeah, every day at noon here on Andrew's Trying on Twitch.
Very cool. I like the frequency of that. That's very cool. And then Pierce,
Oh, sure. Sunday mornings, I'm reading Animorph books. I did one this morning. We read book 12, The Reaction, which was of the 3.5 hours of that. It was probably about 2 hours of me voicing two 13-year-old girls talking about a Jonathan Taylor Thomas stand-in named Jeremy Johnson McCole from the show Powerhouse and how cute he was. So you can tune in for stuff like that on Sundays.
I mean,
But we'll be reading book 13 is a big one. It's a big one in the series. There's a big thing that happens in The Change.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, Powerhouse.
Yeah, pretty good.
Starring Jeremy Jason McCole, who was the star of the show if you forget about the comedian that plays his dad.
Well, there you go. Check that out on Sunday mornings. Pierce likes things. Vanda, you want to talk about anything or say anything?
Nope.
Cool.
Nothing here.
Just here. Well, yeah. So check out all that stuff.
Bro.
Follow us on Discord.
I'll just give one fun dragon fact. I mean, we've talked about this. I don't think I've brought it up on stream yet. Where dragons is Smaug's wealth was calculated to be $54 billion, which would make him the 14th richest American.
The American part of that, I actually am surprised by.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Well,
That's all. It's a fun fact to go out on.
But
Was he murdered?
actually,
He
no.
was killed, right? Good.
I'm gonna push back against that. That is his. Does that account for inflation?
Yes, because people have done this in the past. In like 2001, it was much less.
But like, I'm talking about inflation from like a medieval, like primarily agrarian society. They've calculated for and if he invested that wealth this entire time.
He did not invest the wealth that entire time. He hoarded it like they
But
do.
But he would be hoarding it in it. He would be
and
hoarding it in a
gold
series of
prices.
CDs.
Gold prices have gone
And
up.
gold prices have gone up.
Smaug strikes me as more of an A-track man myself.
No. If Smaug was truly a dragon, he would have had all that money, like hundreds of years.
Printer ink.
Yeah. What is that? What's the rule of 7? Isn't that the rule of 7? You double it and right? Rule of 7? Do I not know what I'm talking about?
You shouldn't ask me about managing money. I'm not very good at it.
Oh, the rule of 72. Yeah. Oh my god, rule of 72. It's basically you will double your money, typically. It's basically how long it takes to invest it. But Smaug would be by far the richest had he been properly investing it in an equivalent time frame then until now. I mean, it's not even. Because he uniquely could be able to do that. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, and that's why he's the king of capitalism. Thank you all so much for watching. Go to our Discord, go to our wiki, go to our YouTube, etc., etc. We really appreciate everybody being here. We will see you in 2 weeks for more dragon fun. Until next time, have a roaring good night.
Rawr.
Roar.
Get the breath of the wild. Yeah, it's a fangs for the memories. That's Claw, folks.